So last day we were looking at um, mitosis, and we finished off with cytokinesis. Well, we had finished with PMAT, so prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. And this, I think, was where we left off. So if we look at anaphase and telophase, these are the last two stages of mitosis where the chromosomes are being pulled apart, separate chromatids, and in telophase, the nuclear membrane is being reformed. So now if we continue on and look very quickly at cytokinesis, it does happen a little bit differently in animal cells and plant cells. In animal cells, basically what happens, it pinches in two in the middle, and you have those two daughter cells. In plant cells, something extra happens, and basically you don't have the centrioles or asters. So what happens is you actually get this cell plate being formed between the two new cells, and that forms the new cell wall. And what happens is you get um, this little divot coming in here, and you get little pieces growing, and eventually that forms that new whole cell wall that takes place and separates the two cells. So overall then, you have your interphase, and this right here, oh, sorry, so this is interphase right here. You have prophase going on up here, which is where the nuclear membrane is breaking down. The DNA has already doubled. This is kind of, it's a thing called pro-metaphase. And we don't really talk about that much, but that's sort of when, you know, the spindle fibers are attaching to the middle of the chromosomes. This is not something we really talk about. I mean, the main things are the prophase, metaphase, which happens here, anaphase, and then you have telophase. So those are the four stages of mitosis, and then of course you have your interphase happening and your cytokinesis to finish off the cell cycle. Now, this is stemming from the fact that we said that a lot of organisms use mitosis for reproduction, but what about the rest of us? We have we're more complex organisms, and it's not that simple. So, sorry about that. So basically, um, do we make sperm and egg by mitosis? And the answer is absolutely not. So, because if we did, we have an egg with 46 chromosomes. We'd have a sperm with 46 chromosomes. And if they join together, that would give us a zygote with 92 chromosomes. Well, that does not make sense, because then that means that organism would have 92 chromosomes. So that cannot happen. So what has to happen then, we get a process called meiosis. And this sort of helps explain why we share some characteristics with our siblings, but we are not identical to one or the other parent. So it's kind of like a sharing game, of course. We have characteristics that are common to both parents. So you may have, you know, your father's eyes, or your mom's lips, or, you know, your mom's eyebrows. stuff like that. But the whole idea is that then you get that variety. And that is what is essential to survival of the species. Okay, so that variation is that main thing. And that variation allows us to have adaptations to the environment. And it is definitely the basis of evolution. So variation is key to organisms evolving. So basically what it does, you get that non-identical offspring being produced, and it allows us to have 46 chromosomes. So if we have 46 chromosomes, this is called diploid. That's our diploid number, 46. Okay, so 2n. And that can be arranged into 23, which is the haploid number, or n. So 2n equals 46. And if you do the basic math then, n has to equal 23. So n is our haploid number. We have 23 homologous pairs of chromosomes. Homologous meaning that they're similar but not identical to. So we have 23 homologous pairs, which gives us 46 chromosomes. And it is that haploid number that is found in an egg, which makes sense because if you have 23 in an egg and 23 in a sperm, when they join together, that's going to give you your total 46 chromosomes, your diploid number. And basically that's what that's saying there. So the gamete from the mother joins with the gamete from the father, and you have that complete set. So basically you have these paired chromosomes with the same size and shape and gene arrangement, of course, both carrying matching genes which control the same characteristics. So if we have a diploid of 2n, 2n equals 4, like we said, then you would have n being 2. So single-stranded homologous chromosomes, when they double, okay, so you get a copy of this one and a copy of that one, and that gives you your pair of homologous chromosomes. So double-stranded homologous chromosomes. So then what happens, we have our sperm and eggs, that 46 has to be reduced to 23. So somehow we have to cut that in half. And meiosis is the process by which this happens. So after meiosis, that 46 chromosomes becomes 23. For males, same thing. You get the egg, you get the sperm joined together, 46 chromosomes. So half of the chromosomes come from the mother, half of the chromosomes come from the father, and then together you get a full 46 after fertilization. So that's basically why meiosis occurs. That's gives us that variation. And the next video lesson will go into exactly what meiosis, how this exactly happens.